Right, here in Waterlooville, sunny Waterlooville, with Mark Chamberlain. Mark, what's going on? All grown up, moved out of the tree house at your mum's, got your own place here, 25 years old.
Just trying to grow up, really, like you say. We bought our first home in, I think it was April last year. A bit of a slow process, like obviously other people putting offers in and that, and then finally got it. And then it wasn't until like we got the keys we sort of knew what we let ourselves in for, because we bought an absolute ran down home, and the people that lived here, I think, lived here since that it was built, sort of thing, in the 60s. So,
the back garden gives a few clues, doesn't it?
Yeah, one thing at a time. But the main thing was getting the inside done, and then this year, in between camps, going to get the front drive will be getting started very soon, and might have to do the back garden next year, because trying to fit everything in is impossible.
When you're saying that, there's a bit of space there. You could put the tree house out there, couldn't you?
Yeah, the tree house has got to stay put. It's found its forever home in Mum and Dad's garden. So yeah, the cabin served me well.
I bet that'll be getting filled up with some stuff, won't it?
Yeah, I think at the minute they're just using it as a bit of a shed, bikes and that in there. Start charging them storage when I...
No respect. The other development that I read online, it's going to be Mr. and Mrs. Chamberlain before long. Engagement has kicked in.
Yeah, we got engaged New Year on holiday, but no, I haven't thought about a wedding just yet. Let's get the house done first.
Did you do that in your second home of Dubai, did you?
What was that?
The engagement
proposal. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve actually. Yeah, it was really nice.
Romantic? You got a romantic side?
Nah, not romantic.
Yeah, love.
Yeah, I just chuck that ring on with it. Nah, it's a bit better than that, but I'm not lovey-dovey romantic, no.
No, I can't see you doing the grand gestures and all that stuff.
No.
New house, engaged, God dear. Life's
growing
changing,
up.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah. Now, before we go on to the obvious development, let's go back to York Hall. The old boy Ram Lavs. Give you a rough old night, didn't he?
Yeah, it was. I believe I made hard work of it. Watched it back a few times. There was silly things I'd done that I shouldn't have done, and I don't know why I done it to make hard work of it, but it is what it is. I got a nasty cut. The main thing is I got the win and the stoppage in the last round, which was like the cherry on top sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, we went back to the drawing boards and just sort of looked where we went wrong, and
what did you think you did wrong? When you're saying the things I did wrong, what was the obvious ones that you've identified?
Just backing up all the time and like putting myself on the ropes and in silly scenarios that I didn't have to do. And like I say, at the heat of the moment, I don't know why I was doing it, because we all know I'm a big, strong lightweight, and going backwards just ain't me. But I mean, I can box on the back foot and the front foot, which ain't a bad thing, I suppose.
Good feet, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I say, a few things we've been working on, and you definitely won't be seeing that again in the next fight, that's for sure.
I mean, he's not a bad old boy, is he? I mean, we've seen him over here before.
Yeah.
And he has given people hell, hasn't he? Okay, he hasn't had the wins, but he's dished
he's
out.
tough.
He hasn't made anyone look good, has he?
He's a tough man. I think he'd had like 18 fights, 16 wins, and both of them losses were close. One being, I think, was Archie Sharp, and the other one being Damien Rinsky, who I trained with in the other gym. Well, they actually, I think he put Damien down twice in the fight. They announced Ramles as the winner, put the belt round him. Just as he's gone to get out of the ring, they snatched the belt off of him and changed the decision. So, do you know what I mean? It's crazy what they done, but in theory, he might only just have scraped one loss on his career, but at the end of the day, the main thing was we got the win. He was no mug, that's for sure, and he just kept coming.
It's your first bit of trauma and distress, really, in a fight. How did you sort of cope with that? What do you go through in there?
Just had to ignore it, really. I mean, it was horrible because I got through, I think it was the 8th round blinded with, obviously I just kept getting blood in my eye, like it was just pouring, and then I
had a punch.
No, it was a head clash at the end of a round, 6 or 7. I actually remember it, and just remember it started trickling, and then every time I got off the stool to go back out, it was trickling again, and then the ref sort of called the doctor, and the doctor said, look, don't panic, we'll go to the scorecards if it needs to be stopped on the cut. And obviously I didn't want that. I know I was up on the scorecards, but I wanted to
get the job done.
Yeah, it was nearly over anyway, so they let it go. And I mean, I got in one of the rounds, I got caught with so many silly shots, because I just remember like not being able to see out of one eye, and if you've got one eye, you can't sort of judge where it's coming from as such. So I was getting caught with silly shots, but
it's going to sound weird, but what great experience for you to bank. You know, I know it's not something that you want.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you've been through that trauma and jeopardy. You've experienced a cut. You've experienced not having things your own way. You've experienced people whacking you back.
Yeah.
And you managed to come through it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you probably were a bit pissed off with it, but now look back, you've done that now. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, I made hard work of it, like I said at the start, but looking back at it, I took a few shots. We both put up a good fight. I got a nasty cut. We got through it. It's a new experience I'd never had before. Obviously, having to have stitches, and God forbid it doesn't happen again in the near future. Because it's not nice, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's boxing. It's the fight game.
Yeah, you banked it. Where were you when you got a random call from Saudi Arabia?
Well, I'll tell you the truth.
Tell the story, because you actually got a personal call, didn't you?
Yeah, so basically, obviously, over the last year, I haven't been working due to having full-time sponsorship now, which has helped me focus on my career at the stage I'm at, which I need. So I'm thankful for obviously all my sponsors, that they know who they are. And I was actually out on the guys who I used to work with. They invited me out on like a curry night. So I said, yeah, I'll come for a curry. Like, why not?
And this must have been in December, because with the Day of Reckoning card, wasn't it? It was around that time.
Yeah, it was mid-December. We went out for a curry. We was on the way home. I think it was about 9:30 p.m. I was just pulling up at home, and my phone's ringing. It was Frank Warren. Oh, Frank's ringing me. Like, they're 3 or 4 hours ahead. What's going on? It's like 12:30, 1:30 over there, or something like that. So I thought, well, this is strange. So I've answered. I said, you all right, Frank? He said, yeah, you're all good. He said, I got an opportunity here if you want it. I went, go for it. He went, no, I'll let His Excellency tell you. So he's passed me over to his Turkey Al Shak.
Yeah.
And he just said, like, Mark, I've got an opportunity over here on the 8th of March. Do you want to fight? I was, yeah, sign me up. I couldn't care who I was fighting, do you know what I mean? Just an experience to get out there and be on the card was good enough for me. So I just said, yeah, like, and then sort of went from there really. A few days went by. I thought I'll chase Frank up again and just see what's going on, see if I am on it. And he just texted back saying, yeah, let's just be patient. We'll get it all confirmed over the next week or so. And then I think it was like Christmas time now. And then, just spoke to him again. And the opportunity was put towards me. Do I want to fight Gwyn? And just took it with both hands and can't wait to get out there now.
Now, from what I understand from Frank, Captain Turkey sort of personally identified you as someone, because he apparently watches everything. Yeah. And he sort of said, I want him on the card. You know, he actually... Yeah. I think at first they were like, who's he talking about? I couldn't sort of...
Yeah, I think Frank was somewhere along the lines of like, Chamberlain, I manage Chamberlain, like this could happen sort of thing. And I mean, for them to be talking about me out there, then he must like something, so I've got to make sure I put on a good display on the night, keep him happy. Yeah, I mean, it's quite strange, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously, I don't know which fight he watched of yours, but I presume it wasn't the last one. No. But yeah, he must have a liking to me somewhere along the lines, and to be
a young fighter though, sort of. Yeah. You know, you've had what, 12, 13, sort of
14 fights 14, now, But
you've been picked out to go and have an experience in the Middle East on a Joshua card. You've got Zhang and Parker and
I feel
Yeah,
like
good company.
that's what I deserve now though. Like I think I fought at York Hall like 3 or 4 times. on the
Yeah, you do
bounce.
deserve a break from your call, don't you?
Don't get me wrong, I fought in the bigger arenas, but I'm looking forward to this massive platform because it's not just going to be the thousands watching, it's the whole world that are watching on all the different platforms. So I'm looking forward to it, and I can't thank obviously my manager, Frank Warren, enough, and you say the captain over in Saudi for actually getting me out there and obviously believing in me somewhere along the lines to go out there and do a job.
You have many people come to you for tickets?
Honestly, my phone, not going to say it hasn't stopped, but I've had, I don't know, the best part of 20, 30 people wanting to know the ins and outs, how do we get out there, something like that. But I don't expect people to be able to go because it's not like a £50 ticket as such, is it? You're talking like £500 to £1,000 flight, then your accommodation, and then your actual ticket. But I haven't been personally allocated any tickets, so I mean anyone.
Have you sorted the family out? Have you sorted?
Yeah,
all that
well, it's in my contract that I get my 4 confidential tickets, so complimentary. So yeah, so I mean I need to chase them up on that because obviously family will be coming out. But
You think they'll come out at the same time as you for the whole week, will they? Or?
No, I'm leaving Friday the 1st. Just be me and my team going over, and then Mum, Dad, and Chloe. I think they're joining middle of fight week. So
yeah, I mean,
which ain't too bad for me really, because like fight week's hard. Obviously, you're trying to make
moody
way.
for part of it as well. Aren't you?
Yeah, and I like my own space, so I like just chill out, do my odd little light session, and then it'd be different this time around though, because obviously it'd be out there in a bit of heat, swimming pool, just chill out really.
Probably a nice gym to work in as well, probably.
Yeah, nice gym to get in. It's a bit different to what I normally do fight week. Just mope around really, bored, do not a lot really.
Gavin Gwynne, obviously at some point during this he must have been put forward as the opponent. I mean it's a perfect one for you because it brings another title to the table, doesn't it?
Definitely, and you know what I'm really looking forward to is fighting someone my own height, if not an inch bigger. Because obviously I'm tall for the weight, but so's Gwyn, and it'd be nice to get in there and have a go with someone my own size. Like I've had good sparring up to this, big, strong. I've even been sparring middleweights, so I'm prepared for whatever he's going to bring, the best Gwyn.
He sort of does what it says on the tin, doesn't he? He doesn't make any pretense about, and he won't try and kid you about his game plan, will he?
No,
he comes forward throwing punches, doesn't he? Sort of.
Yeah, I take my hat off to him. Obviously, he's won a lot in boxing, British, European, Commonwealth champion, and just give up the British, obviously, for Noakes to fight for. So he's a true champion and he's a good fighter, but I truly believe I'm young, hungry, and I'm coming through and I'm going to show everyone what I'm about on that night, because I truly believe I need a hard fight like this to push on in my career. Now, I'm not looking past Gwyn because it's not going to be an easy night, but I truly believe if we stick to the game plan and we'll have a good scrap and I'll come out on top.
I would have thought you'd need to be fairly textbook, wouldn't you? Because I mean, you're quite an upright sort of fighter, aren't you?
Yeah.
You follow the sort of classic punches, sort of textbook shots, but you probably need that to A, to keep him off, and B, to discourage him, because even though you probably say you don't watch much of him, we know what he does, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a few fights of his now. Yeah, I know what to expect. I know he's a tough man. I mean, you could just hit him and he'd keep coming, but I mean, are you going to want to keep coming when someone's absolutely pummeling you in the face? Do you know what I mean? So we'll just see how it plays out on the night. No way am I looking past him. But yeah, I'm confident we get the win.
Because of the nature of the man, but A, he'll test your fitness. If you haven't put everything into that tank, and B, your heart. Because if you like when someone, if you're battering them, and they keep coming, that could probably be a bit discouraging somewhere along the line. So those two things, maybe your mentality as well, they are going to be tested, aren't they?
Definitely, and I'm looking forward to it because I've pushed myself to the absolute limits in training. And as weird as it sounds, I'm really looking forward to a good, hard, grueling scrap. Do you know what I mean? Because I've trained hard for it, and I want to know how I'm going to be with someone constantly on me, wanting to punch my face in. I might sound like an idiot for saying it, but I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, the thing is, you go through these careers as prospects. I mean, like you say, you had the last one, and you've had some tough fights, to be fair, but often, like you say, a lot of these prospects don't get tested properly, do they? And maybe they do crave that. And sometimes it's a shock when it actually happens to them.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so, yeah. Obviously, other fighters, I mean, you can get to like 20-0, can't you? No disrespect to the fighters because they're in there doing the job, but you could fight 20, not bums, but you know what I mean, and stay undefeated for 20 fights. But until you actually come in and fight someone that can have a go, that can punch, that can box, then what do you do? Because you haven't been there and been tested on the way up.
Yeah. So I remember joking with someone once. He got to about, like you say, 20-0, and I said to him, "We'll get someone who might hit you back one day." You know, and he admitted he'd never been hit.
Fair play to him. I mean, like, being unbeaten's great, but when you want to push on the bigger and better things, you want to be a champion. You've got to beat the champion. Do you know what I mean? And they're not a champion for no reason. They hold titles for a reason of being a true champion. So, for me, for anyone to push on to bigger and better things, you got to beat that person that's in front of you.
Be a quality title belt to bring back to Waterlooville, wouldn't it? I mean,
yeah.
Come back as IBF Euro and proper EBU European champion.
I think the title's been changed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the title's been changed. I think we're now fighting for a WBA because obviously I hold the IBF European one.
That probably knocks you out of the other one, doesn't it? Yeah.
And he holds the EBU. And the criteria of my title is I need to have vacated it and been clear of it for 6 months before I can move on to that title.
Gotcha.
And obviously we haven't got 6 months. And they've sort of said the same thing. So I heard that Gwyn's had to vacate it to fight me. How true that is, I don't know, but I would have thought so because they wouldn't allow him to. But I don't care about that. I mean,
if you get a nice WBA belt to go with your other one,
yeah, that's it.
It's a good road to go down, isn't it?
Yeah, another belt. Just start to.
And also, you would have still, all things being well, you would have still beaten the European champion, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, let's talk about, you know, things on paper. It's sort of, you know, it's not the belt, it's the man, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking at the titles or what's on the line. The main thing is I've got to get the win, have a good night, good performance, and put a good display on, and then hopefully be back out there in the summer. Who knows? I've got to ask you. I know it's sort of a tired old subject. You and Sam, in the build up to your last fights, it seems that things, from the situation, I think, having sort of gone a bit quiet and fallen off the radar a bit, it seemed that you were kind of like maybe sort of sniping at each other a little bit more before the last fights. I don't know, it just seemed to have cranked up a little bit. Is it because it's probably going to happen this year?
Who knows? I mean, the fight got offered to me when I still had stitches in my head.
It was going to be February 10th or something.
10th of February, which is stupid, to be honest, because, like I say, I still had stitches in my head. The date was like 6 or 7 weeks away from when they offered it to me. I wasn't allowed to start sparring for 5 to 6 weeks, so they want me to say yes to a fight with no sparring, which was pathetic. So I just sort of said, like, come on, be real about it. I'll be ready to go middle of March. Let's get it on. And as far as I was aware, it was on for then. And then I see that they announced he was fighting Sylvester. So fair play to them, innit? They're on their path. I'm on mine. They didn't want to wait, which is understandable because obviously if he was ready to go, then he's ready.
It's kind of worked out well for both of you, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we was meant to fight for the British, but I'm not really bothered about that, to be honest. I mean, he's got the British, and they obviously give me the Saudi bill. So if he's happy to fight for the British, I'm happy to fight in Saudi, and whatever. If we meet at the end of the year, then great. If we don't, I couldn't care. Do you know what I mean? The fight was offered. I said yes. he probably said yes. But if he really wanted it, why didn't he go, no, I'll wait 3 or 4 weeks and then we'll get it on. And then that was next, you know what I mean? But who cares? He's got his team, I got mine. I'm not worried about the name Sam Noakes at the minute, because obviously I've got a much bigger task in front of me in Gavin Gwynne. So at the minute, we're focused on Gwyn and Gwyn only.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, when people say, "Oh, you've both said over the years this has been mentioned," but you know, you'd like it to be for something meaningful.
Yeah.
And I suppose if he's got a British and you've got all your belts, whatever comes from this Saudi trip, I suppose that is fairly meaningful. Or do you just now wait until you get to world title eliminators, or just forget about it? Or does it really matter? I don't know.
Do you know what? I really couldn't care at this precise minute what happens. Like I say, he's on his path, I'm on mine. If the fight arises and it happens, it happens. If it don't, then it don't. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I will fight whoever they put in front of me. Hence why when they said, do you want to fight on the 8th of March? I couldn't care if I was fighting King Kong or Gwyn. Do you know what I mean? I just want to fight, so I don't care.
And also, if you beat Gavin Gwynne, really, you've got to start be looking towards your ranking and closing in on that, you know, one of those belts, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to, as hard as it's to say and easy for it to say, you just got to keep winning. But winning and doing it is two different things. But I truly believe that I do win the fight. It's a very winnable fight for me. A hard fight, but a winnable fight.
Has this training felt different, you know, because of, I don't know, the travel, the forthcoming travel, going somewhere you haven't been before, that sort of thing? Is it the intensity different, or just overall feel a little bit odd? Yeah,
no, it feels good this time round, because obviously it's a massive platform, big stage, big night, big card, and training, I've been happy, I'm enjoying it. Normally it's like, oh, I've got to go and do this, I've got to do another session, but I'm actually enjoying it. And you might ask other fighters how they're feeling, and they go, yeah, camp's gone great as such, but it generally has. Like, I've had great sparring. I've sparred 2 or 3 times a week. Like, I've been travelling. I've been fortunate to have sparring partners come to me. I've never sparred so much, and I'm enjoying it. Everything's just gone to plan, really.
You have a little bit of company out there on the bill. I mean, you've got Nick Ball out there as well, and you have a massive fight.
Yeah, there's a good few fights on that night. I'm like I say, I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in the main event, if you know what I mean.
So the main thing is to try and get that repeat invitation, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why you got to keep everyone happy, put on a good performance, and then hopefully get back out there and end of summer or something. Who knows?
Mark, well done, mate, and obviously, you know, we're with you. Wish you the best of luck, mate.
Thank you.